Hey guys, we are at the second to last episode of Visual Prison. And this episode had a lot to unpack in terms of the prisons, the stages that the vampires perform on, Scarlet Tears, and the Scarlet Moon. So, of course, we know Gil now is in a vegetative state. He is close to dying because his body is slowly disintegrating due to, remember, he broke the rules of Scarlet Moon, so it decided to punish him by breaking his body apart due to him losing feelings towards singing and for bestowing his powers onto a woman. So they said, you know what? Nah, you're going to die, right? It's against our rules. So while the rest of Oz is still being impacted by this, mind you, it's already after 2 months, so now they're in fall season right now. It's very close to Visual Prison, which takes place on October 31st, and everybody in terms of the fans are wondering, has Oz broken up? So we have it where everybody's finding a way of how to fix Gil, because Oz is nothing without him. It's a 4-man band. Just before all of that, we had where in the beginning of the episode they had a flashback 30 years prior or even more, where we had Saga, a young Saga, black hair before he has the red and black, was at a concert with Eclipse. At the time, we didn't even know. I thought this whole time Saga, part of Eclipse, was always a 4-man band. No, he joined at a later date. Originally, Eclipse was a 3-man band because remember, Dimitri, Hyde, and Gil are all vampire brothers, same vampire parent. So he was so enticed by Eclipse, and especially by Gil's singing, because he felt the emotions by Gil. This man literally went on 10 years searching for this band because they went worldwide, going to different locations and everything. Within that same time span, he became a vampire. Scarlet Moon granted that permission and turned him into a vampire. Eventually, he found them in London, and the rest is history. So this man was so in awe. He was awestruck by Gil that he was searching for them for a decade. This man was dedicated. So it kind of this episode kind of went back and forth, especially with with Ange and Saga, because you kind of see as to why Saga is so hung up on Gil, because Gil was the one that brought him into this world. Whether he realized it or not, he indirectly brought Saga into this world. So during the time when Utica and Otome died, and seeing as how Gil lost his reason for living because he lost a person who gave him back that feeling. Remember, there was a point in time where he broke up Eclipse. Saga was trying everything to bring him back. He lost his feelings towards music. Punishment right there. And then Utica was able to bring back that love. And then when Utica and his wife died, he lost that all again. And then he was close to just ending. He's like, I don't care if the Scarlet Moon wants to go end me or anything. I don't care. I give up on life. So you can see now fully the reason as to why Saga is so angry at Gil, because all of these things happen. Same thing, it kind of reflects off of Miss. Saga doesn't like people that gives up on themselves. Why they think dying is so easy, especially when things don't go their way, when life gets rough. You choose the easiest outcome as to just end it all. So he can never understand that, because remember, he's raw in everything he does. Through his music, you feel his raw emotions. This guy is always striving and trying to do better, be better. So then we have it where Eve meets with Elizabeth. Elizabeth has Eve tied up. They're trying to awaken Carmilla. And of course, Carmilla doesn't fully take over. They see Carmilla through a mirror, but they're doing so to ask help as to how to resurrect basically a near-dead vampire, right? Vampires are already dead, so to undead them, you're gonna hurt your brain trying to think of it, right? But either way, They were asking Carmilla, because remember, Carmilla is one of the oldest vampires. She is the vampire princess, so she knows a thing or two. And at one point, we have where Eve was contemplating on using their life, giving up their life to resurrect Guil. But come to find out, if it was the old Eve, they would have gave up their entire life. But it's like, can I give half of my life to bring back Guil? Because Guil is not fully dead, but Guil, like I said, is in a vegetative state. So Guil isn't gone completely. His body wasn't taken back to the Scarlet Moon. So that didn't go through. And they were hoping, can the Scarlet Tear resurrect? So my guess is possibly a Scarlet Tear can resurrect Guil if they manage to win it at Visual Prison. Another thing, like I was stated in early in the video, when a vampire dies, right? If they are punished by the Scarlet Moon, and you see their body goes back up like red light going right back to the moon, those Scarlet Tears you're seeing, it's actually a fragment or probably a vampire turned into that tear. I know it sounds crazy, but think about it. Their body goes back because remember, they got all their powers, everything from the Scarlet Moon. Once the Scarlet Moon bestows all the powers and everything, they give them the power to form stages. So anytime you saw the groups performing, you saw like different backgrounds. It's actually, they have pheromones that can entice the crowd through their song, which also causes that illusionary background stage that they have. It's because of the powers that they have. So it's the powers that they got from the Scarlet Moon that gives them that ability to do so, create the stages, their song enticing the audience, causing more people to fall in love with them. That's just one of many perks they get as vampires, right? And then when they win the Visual Prison, they get a wish, get a Scarlet Tear, and then a wish from the Scarlet Moon, so on, so on, so on. So it actually is very, so because I'm like, okay, the Scarlet Moon has all these powers. How does it have also the powers to give wishes through these Scarlet Tears? Comes to find out, the Scarlet Tears are the vampires, or at least fragments of deceased vampires. So it's either the Scarlet Tear that helps revive back Guil, or they perform and somehow, some way, their song basically wows the Scarlet Moon so much that it not only gives them like one wish, but possibly it might try to change its rules a little bit and decides to grant them another one. I don't know what's going to happen for the final episode, because also in the episode we had it where, in a way, Ange used his own abilities to keep Guil alive for a short period of time. They created their stage, they sung a song, and within their own little prison, because each vampire can create their own prison, Guil was resurrected just for a short while. So after the whole prison came down, the whole illusionary of the prison came down, Guil was back to slumber. So now by the end of the episode, it is now October 31st, right? And this is going to be Oz's last concert. So they're going to go and give it their all, perform the biggest performance that they ever did, and we'll see what happens. Will Guil be resurrected fully, or will he finally move on after really singing his heart? He did sing his heart out in this episode, but like this is his final performance. This is going to be his feelings. This is going to be the most intense feelings we ever seen from Guil from this entire season. And we don't know what's Guil's fate by the end of the show. We don't know what's going to happen on Visual Prison episode 12, the finale. So hopefully it can be two things. Either Guil passes away and Oz breaks up. They're all still friends, but they're no longer a band. Or Guil is completely healed. He is fine and Oz is together, and the groups continue to form at Visual Prison, whether they want to do it yearly or do wherever. But other than that, I really enjoyed this second to last episode of Visual Prison, episode 11, because they really dropped a lot of information that I think a lot of us were questioning throughout the entire show. So they were we kind of got info dumped in this episode, but it makes a lot of sense in the grand scheme of everything because we're practically at the end. So tell me your thoughts on Visual Prison episode 11, guys. I will love to hear it because and for I forgot your name, but for the person that told me in the last video that there's going to be a manga, I'm definitely going to go read it. That the creators of the show is also going to make a manga soon. So, you know, your girl is going to go and read it. Possibly I might do a review. I might do a review for the manga. I don't know yet. But whenever it drops, I'm going to go and check it out. Guys, the links are in the description box. Also leave a like and leave a subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on Friday for the last episode. Also, do tell me, do you want me to do a live reaction or just do a final review? Please leave that down below. Leave that down below. I would love to know. So, until then, I'm Kimmy-chan of Anime Legends. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!